Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today's Wednesday, August 20th. We are excited to be back. We took 2 days in a row. I mean, two shows in a row. Monday and Wednesday. We're back on track, kind of. This will be the last week.
Oh.
No, that's not how I'm going on. This will be the last week that the script doesn't really write itself for us on the show. We're going to bring our personality. Everybody's going to have a fun time. LSU is a little over a week away from their first game of the season. College football starts this weekend. One big matchup in Dublin, Ireland with Kansas State and Iowa State. Top 25 matchup. So we'll get one little bit of a tease and a little bit of a taste of the college football season this weekend. But next weekend is week one. Obviously, LSU at Clemson. Texas at Ohio State. A lot of big games to talk about. So next week's going to be a lot of fun talking about what to expect, talking about gambling. We're actually going to talk about gambling. This is me forcing the issue, and I'm okay with that. This is me forcing the issue. Last year, we had a ton of success on the Mik'd Up show with me, Lloyd, and Jared picking parlays for the year. I think we won 4 or 5 of them. 4 or 5 3-leg parlays that were all, I think, like plus 550 or above in odds. And so if you bet us and if you tailed us, you won some money. We didn't win them all. We were close on a couple more, but we won 4 or 5 of them, which we're in the plus money for the year. We're going to try to do better than that this year, starting with this weekend. I know Lloyd is not trying to do that, but we're making it happen. I've already picked my bets. I already know what I want. Whether y'all are in or not, I'm doing it. It'll be a good way to start the college football gambling year. But with that said, we're going to what?
I'm the guy that's betting on preseason football, so I really can't say.
You're right.
You're not going to have to twist my arm too hard.
You're right. We're gonna talk
I want
about
Kansas State already.
We're going to talk about it through the show because we don't have a show on Friday. We're going to have, obviously, here coming Fridays from here on out, we will have, obviously, pregame shows talking about the weekend, all those types of things. But this is the last one that we will not have going into the season. Some things that I got to take care of back home. And so we're just, luckily there's no game to talk about on Saturday for us to miss. It's Ask Mikie and Mitch. We have not done a good job of promoting that on Wednesdays. We are, like I said, we are not just a baseball show. So ask questions, throw them in there. Lloyd's been boots on the ground. He's been watching practice. He's going this Saturday under the lights. Media has access to, I guess it's going to be a simulated scrimmage. I can't imagine it'd be a full-on scrimmage the week before the first game of the season, but it'll be under the lights in Tiger Stadium. I know that you're very excited about that, Lloyd. I'm very excited for you to go so that you can give us some feedback.
I don't know how to handle it because I've never been at night in Tiger Stadium sober.
Never in your life.
Well, as a child, but you've seen it. I mean, I was 15 then.
Yep.
So, I mean, I might have to.
I mean, I can't imagine.
Security's high.
I can't imagine you're not going to have some sort of alcoholic beverage either before or during.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring something in.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, the Lord I know wouldn't show up.
No doubt.
So.
He's gonna listen. If you want it bad enough, you can make it happen.
I do, and I will.
Yeah, and you're gonna make it happen. You're gonna
I
make
do,
it happen.
and I will.
But we're gonna talk about football. We're gonna talk about LSU. Obviously, we've been talking about that leading into it. Next week's gonna be a lot more of the LSU Clemson preview. A lot more of that conversation. We'll start that today. We'll start talking about. Brian Kelly came out in some of his pressers this week and talked about guys who have kind of earned starting jobs. Tyree Adams as a left tackle, he confirmed that. I think we all expected that. Confirmed that he's going to be the starting left tackle. Obviously, he already announced the starting center. He's Justin Thompson. Mistakenly called him Justin. Should have been Josh Thompson. Transfer from Northwestern.
Thompson.
Thompson. That's what I said.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying you stick to Thompson.
Yeah.
JT.
He has announced he will be starting at one of the guards. Seems like it's going to be right guard. So there is a position battle with left guard. It seems like it's Paul Mubanga and Cohen Eccles they're battling for that position, and the right tackle position is still up for grabs. So they have a couple more things they got to sift through before they finalize their starting rotation for the offensive line. A couple other position battles still going on. I think the defensive line's pretty set. I believe the secondary is pretty set. There was conversation early in the week and late last week that P.J. Woodland was kind of making a run at maybe being the guy on the outside there. I think Ashton Stamp's going to have that job of P.J. Woodland being playing as well as he has and making that a conversation bodes well for having, obviously, a lot of depth, especially in the nickel and when you need multiple DBs on the field at once. Big Ten in the news again. We talked a little bit about this on Monday. Big Ten floating the idea of 2018 playoff. I hate that. Hated it a lot. And there's a bunch of reasons why I hate that. We're going to talk about it. I don't believe that you need to expand more than 12. I know there's been a lot of conversation with 16 teams, SEC commissioners and coaches, all those ADs. They have all kind of pulled back on that conversation. They like the 12 team. I don't see what moving it to 16 teams is going to do.
Money.
I understand the money part, but as far as like competition, once you get past that 12, it feels like there's a drop, and
do you think
you're not going to get the quality of football in the playoffs that you would want?
Do you think there's 12 teams this year that could win a college football national championship?
No,
exactly.
I don't think there's 12 teams any year that could win a national championship, but I think that there's a 12 seed could maybe upset somebody at some point. I do believe that. But once you get past that, I just don't feel like those lower seeds, or lower seeds would be able to go and beat a team that is like a fifth seed. Like, who was a fifth seed last year? Ohio State? No. Yeah. Was it Ohio State? Notre Dame.
No, it wasn't them because they played Tennessee first. So it couldn't have been them.
Yeah, it wasn't them. Whoever the fifth seed was, right? They're going to get the lowest. The others, the highest seed, however you want to say it, right? The fifth seed is going to get the 12th seed or the 16th seed, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And it's just when you get to a gap like that once you get past 12, the likelihood of them having an upset, not very high. I don't know. I just think 16 teams is too much. I think 12 teams is good. I think you stay there and you run with that. But if they end up going to 16, that has to be the limit. You can't go to 32 teams. It's not college basketball.
I'm about to say, I'd give it this. Like, with the growing nature of what NIL and the portal has done, I think it's kind of flattened the board. I won't say flattened because it's not flat. Let's go ahead and get that understood. But I think it's brought the level of competition a little closer. So I would think that moving forward, as a lot of guys start looking around the country and even more so see more and more examples pop up of guys leaving and having success and being able to go to the league and being able to get paid and have success there as well, you could find it. Maybe there's opportunities at 16. I'm hard pressed to see I find a world outside of 16 where you get that many engaging good football games.
Correct.
And then even at 12 to 16, I still don't feel like there's 12 to 16 teams that could win a championship.
Correct.
So that's what we're talking about for me.
Correct. And look, do I think that there's going to be a 12 seed go and win a national championship? I don't. But I do think there's going to be a 12 seed that maybe could upset a seed, that first game, the 5 seed at some point, which would make it interesting. But when you get past that, it just makes it very unrealistic for somebody to make a run. It's just kind of just having games just to have games. And obviously the money thing is a big deal. 12 seed last year was, I guess this would have been.
This is last year.
So Clemson, obviously 12 seed,
would not have been in the playoff if not for winning the ACC championship against a team that is also in the playoff, the 11 seed SMU.
Correct, right? And so, look, Clemson could have gone out there and they could have beaten some teams and upset some teams, but this has some flaws to it too because of the Arizona State, Boise State, all the top 4 seeds except for Oregon.
Well, and your 1 seed has to play Ohio State.
Correct. So there are some flaws in that, right? Which obviously they're fixing that. They already said that, right? Mm-hmm. You don't get the automatic. Yeah. You don't just because winning your conference does not get you the automatic top 4 seed, which needs to happen. I don't know. We'll get into that conversation as the show goes on.
All it does is give you a spot at the table,
right? And that's fine, and that's how it should be. The best teams should be the top 4 teams. If you win your conference, you should get rewarded for that, and you should get a seat at the table. But it shouldn't warrant a top 4 seed. Saints, lowest odds to win the Super Bowl out of all 32 teams. Have not.
Wow.
They have not. Yeah, not great. Plus, I think they're plus 1,100 to win their division. They don't have the lowest odds of any of the other teams. Like, I think there's I don't know who it was, but there's somebody that was plus 1,600 to win their division. But NFC South obviously hasn't been as strong as some of the other ones. They are plus 1,100 to win the division. Have not named their starting quarterback. Still in the middle of a quarterback battle. I believe it's going to be Spencer Rattler as a starter to start game 1.
Oh, and breaking news, they just got Spencer Rattler a weapon. Saints make a trade for Devon Veal.
Ah, okay. Great. Who'd they trade?
Broncos put this out. We've agreed to terms on a trade with the New Orleans Saints for a 2026 4th-round pick and a 2027 7th-round pick in exchange for Devon Veal.
They like him enough to give him 2 picks. Now, 4th rounder's like
It's a good pick.
kind of a valuable pick. You know what I mean? Like 7th rounder, I can see, but you know, okay, we'll see what
There's some
happens.
value in that 4th round for real.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But the Saints haven't picked their quarterback. They have a quarterback battle. You know, the season's a couple weeks away. Have one more preseason game to kind of figure that out. I imagine they kind of know in-house what it is. Jake Hayner, see ya. I'd imagine he's going to be on the practice squad or get picked up somewhere else. But I'd imagine he's going to be on the practice squad. I don't think someone's going to pick him up. But what do I know? I'm not a scout, and I'm not looking at what they're looking at. So, yeah. Again, ask Mikey and Mitch Wednesday. Throw your questions in the chat. The few of you that are probably listening to us right now, throw them in there. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a good day, and let's get going.
What do you think? Where do you think Veal was drafted? Valet. What round?
I mean, if you give a 4th rounder for him, I would say
I'm gonna go undrafted. I don't even know.
That's closer than
I'm gonna say 6th round.
7th-round pick.
Hmm.
Finished his
What is it?
rookie season.
What have his numbers been like?
He just finished his rookie year, 41 catches.
Yeah, but say, how does that warrant a future 4th?
What did he do last year?
41 catches for 475 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's better than I thought he was gonna have.
Yeah,
As a rookie,
Okay.
not terrible. 41 catches ain't bad.
they got fleeced by Sean Payton again.
Always. Sean Payton just haunting
He knows exactly who he's dealing
New
with.
Orleans. He knows how to get Mickey excited.
A couple of Vikings.
Yeah.
Let's make a deal.
Yeah, he knows how to get Mickey excited. Mickey's still helping him out. It's crazy, unbelievable. All right, let's get to the a little bit of the LSU conversation. LSU has 3 guys, preseason All-Americans, AP All-Americans. Whit, Weeks, preseason first-team selection. Garrett Nussmeier and Harold Perkins, preseason second-team selection. I believe Cade Klubnik is the first-team quarterback in this All-American from the preseason All-Americans from the AP. Hopefully, I mean, if you got 3 All-Americans, that bodes well. Especially if both your linebackers are first and second-team All-Americans, like that. It's a good sign for your defense. Obviously, everybody knows what Nuss is. Nuss was going to be.
But we don't need to keep them clean first, so that matters the most, right?
Keep them clean, right?
Yeah.
We
Keep
talked
them clean,
about-
let them roam, let them do their thing.
We talked about you're talking about Nuss or you're talking about the linebackers?
The linebackers.
Yeah. Which I think having the defensive line and how the depth and the talent of the defensive line, I think you're going to see both those linebackers excel. Similar to what it used to be like at LSU, right? When you were there, when we were there, and you had a defensive line that took up a lot of attention from the offensive scheme and was able to not allow the offensive line to get to the second level and really opened it up for their linebackers. You saw, when LSU was humming defensively, you saw the linebackers making a ton of tackles like they should, right?
Yep.
Defensive linemen shouldn't have a ton of tackles. Defensive linemen they make a lot of really good plays that go unnoticed because they set the stage for the linebackers to get downhill and open up holes so that they can go and make the tackles and do the things that they need to do. So I'd imagine you're going to see that again this year. I think that the defensive line is set up to do that, and you have 2 really good linebackers in the middle, or I say in the middle. Harold Perkins a star, but you have two really good linebackers, really talented linebackers that can make a lot of tackles, I would imagine. You know what I did notice is Georgia's and I say this to you, Lloyd, because you have been very vocal about special teams over the last few years. Apparently, Georgia's kicker and punter is the best in the country. Apparently,
the tandem of them, or is it one guy?
Well, it was I think all SEC came out, or preseason all SEC came out, and it was all Georgia special teams.
Okay.
Barry and Brown was on that, I think second team, but I believe the Georgia's kicker, punter,
Brett Thorson.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Apparently he's nasty. I don't know. I'm saying that for Lloyd because Lloyd's been very vocal about it, which as he should.
Hey,
as he should. It wasn't.
LSU
Look, it wasn't unwarranted.
Has hired Amon Anad, sneaky under the radar hire, but now that he's an analyst,
not under the radar for you though.
No, I'm all over this guy,
Yep.
but not a full-time on-the-field coach. But as an analyst, you're able to be on the field and be a full-time coach. So finally, Brian Kelly gets his rub of being able to have, while ignoring special teams. He talked about this during his press conference where we didn't really address special teams, and he called them hubs, where it was we're going, I guess how you should coach special teams. He just said we ran kick out there, we ran punt out there, and that was kind of that. Now it's a much more specialized group for who's on kickoff return, who's the gunners, who's on protection, which is mind-blowing, I know. But to now finally have that, and Amon Nod is heading this thing up for LSU. So maybe you would see a little bit. And when you've seen the uptick in special teams from LSU, while a slow burn, it has happened. We're a far cry from Gregory Clayton Jr., Jarvis Landry's cousin, to fair catch punts, to now having your pick of the litter between Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas, and Barry and Brown that are on these lists when you haven't.
Correct. And look, the return game for LSU was a lot better last year.
It's
but I'm talking about
points.
the other side. I'm talking about kick coverage. I'm talking about punt coverage. I'm talking about making sure that you don't get shit blocked. I'm talking about all those things. Last year was it South Carolina blocked one?
Yes, and saw that happen.
Yeah,
and it has looked better.
Yes,
because it was a real sticking point last year. Whenever you would watch
but that was really the only blunder they had last year was that blocked punt.
Well,
correct?
They just didn't do anything with they didn't pin anybody back. They didn't aside from, I think they were 111th in the country on punt return yards, but you had the kick return yards that kind of glossed over everything when Xavier Thomas ran one back, Aaron Anderson ran one back, and it's okay, this is a little bit different. And
but last year was more of hey, let's just make sure we catch it, because 2 years before that we did not do that.
Yeah, you had to bring in a walk-on to return punts for you. He returned one in his entire career, and not to the house. He literally didn't fair catch one punt. And this is a far cry from Jack Besh being back there, and you have Brian Polian. Let's switch in the middle of right when they're about to kick it off. We should switch sides. Tennessee Downs went on a kickoff and is able to get the ball back. We're not there anymore.
No, thank God.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank God.
Good. Yeah, it's good. It's good to not be there.
Good spot to be.
Whenever you have a team that had, I don't know, Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Xavier Carter, Skylar Green, Tre'Davious White, Mo Claiborne, you can go down the list, DJ Chark, that were able to change the scoreboard, but we're back to that, it feels like.
I think we are, and I think that's a good place to be, right? That puts us in a
advantageous position.
It puts us in a position that we're used to seeing historically here at LSU. We talked a lot about the O-line on Monday, and I don't want to really get back into everything that we had talked about, but with Brian Kelly coming out and basically naming 3 of the 5 starters, who do we think the other 2 are? Lloyd, I think you probably have the best idea based off of what you've seen. It feels like Cohen Eccles has kind of made a big jump recently in the last couple of weeks to put his name back into that. Listen, DJ Chester was there for a long time. Now he is no longer starting. He's going to be the backup center / backup guard wherever they need him. Cohen Eccles is there, and Weston Davis, right? He's battling for that right tackle position.
Yep.
Who do you think is going to be the starting 5 outside of or I guess the other 2?
Lloyd?
Carius Kern is a name that
one too. So Kern and Eccles both feel like they've made real big strides here in the last week and a half. Correct? Don't you feel that way?
And we had Cohen Eccles on the morning show, Tingle and Co. 7 to 9 Monday through Friday, and he was like, "I want to prove to the country that I'm one of the best guards in the country." He was talking as if he was going to get real reps and be a real starter, and so I'm not surprised to see him kind of have his name manifest into a possible starting position. The talent's there. There's no doubt about that. All these guys are 4 stars or 5 stars. Like, the way that they've recruited the offensive line position is unparalleled. It's without a doubt. Now it's just a matter of coaching and scheme. And when you bring in a coach like Alex Atkins from Florida State, who was on a Broyles Award list as an offensive coordinator, and you come in to help coach the offensive line and be a tight ends coach and run game coordinator, all of that seems very offensive line centric. But when it comes to Kern, Brian Kelly, whenever he committed and signed, was like, he's physically ready right now.
I mean, he's 330 pounds doing backflips.
Yeah, so he's one of the guys that, like, is absolutely a freak show. And so when you tell me something like that, it becomes coaching at that point. So my question to you is, do you think this is a bigger cause for concern that you don't have your 5 named yet, or is that a good thing?
Jared, I'm going to defer to you.
Like, at this point, you're 10 days away.
I don't really think it's a bad thing. Here's what I will say, and we talked about this we talked about this on Monday. The way he spoke about it in that press conference is, I don't feel the need to really throw any names out there, and I've done this for a long time. I think I have an offensive line tight end has kind of been my calling card. I think I have a good idea what they look like. Got a ton of those guys in the league right now. In year 3 and year 30 of his coaching career, I feel like if he feels the need and or the want to say that, I think he feels pretty damn good about what's going to be available for him on Saturday night. So it doesn't give me any kind of reservation as to who and how much or how many guys are factored into this. I feel like he feels good about it. And for me, honestly, that was kind of one of the ones where I was like, all right, you lose 2 bookends. How are you going to refurbish this line and make sure that this line can protect a second-year starter and Nuss and get them to where they need to be? It feels like he feels great about that part of the team.
Yeah.
And if he feels great about that part of the team, that gives me a better idea of, I guess, how this offense is going to go about things.
Agreed. I'm not worried about them not having the guys 10 days in or announcing. I think he knows who's going to be the guy. I think it's just look, he's made it known without verbally saying it by moving guys back who have been kind of getting those first-team reps early on in camp and moving other guys up who maybe haven't got as many first-team reps. I think he kind of knows, all right, these guys are going to play. These guys are going to be the starters. I would not be shocked if you saw Josh Thompson lose his position at some point in the year to one of those guys. Right? One of those guys is going to be the left guard, and the other one's probably going to end up being the right guard. I guess the next question is who's going to be the right tackle. Because both those guys are competing for the guard position, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You have Weston Davis, and who's the other one? Who's the other battle with?
It was DJ Chester they were working at.
So it feels like Weston Davis is going to be the right tackle.
Yeah, I think he just said that to say it. But, yeah, Weston Davis has been the name that everybody has kind of been seeing more so at the right tackle position. But the way that it's mentioned, it's still like he's solidified. He's named, 3 starters?
Yep.
And so it feels like the other 2 are very much still up for debate in his mind. But you would like to have a left tackle, which you do.
Well, look, maybe Kieran gets the job at right tackle. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Like,
it could be, but I think we'll find out a lot more on Saturday because by Saturday and that scrimmage under the lights is probably going to be your 5.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay.
Good chance.
So, Tyree Adams, Cohen Eccles, Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, and Weston Davis. That's your starting line. Okay. Now, who's your starting 3 receivers?
You asking me?
Yep. Well, I'm asking both of y'all. I mean, this is the time of the year where we do this. I mean, this more in the morning show, y'all are going through position by position, day by day, right?
Yeah,
like you're trying to fill the slots until you get to next week, where you got all previews of the games and matchups and all that type of stuff, and then the weekend just kind of writes the week for you, right? So, we're not going to go by position like breakdown of like who they got. We're going to talk about who we think is going to be the starting group of receivers and offensive linemen, where you've had a lot of conversation about a bunch of different guys.
I would say Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, and
the third one's the big one, right?
You would hope it would be a transfer you brought in, but he has been nicked up at camp a little bit with Nick Anderson, and so that will be.
I thought he was back.
Yeah, well, we went to practice on.
He was out again.
No, he was practicing, but he was a little gimpy. But I think that's like the position where you'll see a lot of guys rotate through, whether it be your guy Kyle Parker, whether it be Nick Anderson, whether it be Barry and Brown, which I think people want to see a lot of him because you've only heard like the legend of Barry and Brown continues to grow as time goes on. But those are guys that like Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas, Barry and Brown all kind of do the same thing. But if I had to put three out there, it'd be Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, Barry and Brown, with Nick Anderson hopefully healthy, and then like because that's your true 6'4" big body, like that's what they wanted as a real X wide receiver.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because now you're getting to where like I'm thinking about this thing is, so you're telling me that at this point right now you see, if you want to call it starters, if you want to call it the lion's share of the snaps, it being Chris Hilton and Aaron Anderson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then what happens? Who's playing the X in that spot?
Well, that's
probably Chris. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'd imagine Chris. Yes.
See, and this
look, if Nick Anderson's not healthy, and or not really getting the playbook this quickly, maybe that's part of it. I'm not exactly sure that is the best route. Those two guys are the best route to being like push this thing forward. Like they're going to be huge parts. Like they obviously have the most balls caught. Aaron for one, being the top one of you, if you will. But as I'm looking forward to this thing, and even remember like the role that he played last year was more of the slot guy. It was more of the, not even gadget guy, but he was more of the guy they brought in, as opposed to, hey, 1st and 10 out of the first 10 and or 1st and 10 out of the halftime. Like he was the guy that was on the field. He was the guy that kind of moved on and off a lot. So I guess I could see a world where he would be. I just feel like you're probably better off being able, and it's if you want to call like that, and that's the thing too. Like in 2025, most of the time you can call because you're not going to use a fullback as much. So most of the time that third receiver kind of is slotted into as like your starter guy, right? Like he's on the field as much. And I feel like you're probably better off having two bigger bodies who can push the field vertically, right? Which would be Nick Anderson, which would be Chris Hilton, and those are your outside receivers. Aaron, for the most part, we've seen has fit the mold of slot guy. Right. He's done some stretching, and we've seen him do that in high school. So like, I'm not gonna sit here and say he can't do it. The boy can fly. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying when you got those two bodies and you're able to basically not rely on separation to win 50-50 balls and or just balls period, like. They seem like the kind of prototypes to sit in, quote unquote, the X and the Z, and then you're able to bring in somebody for the Y and the W and move it around that way. So like, I'm interested to see, because I really don't know, obviously, and I haven't seen them practice with what they have. Right, I'm interested to see how are they going to deploy those guys and who's getting the snaps and who's coming off and who's staying on, who's on in, I don't know, maybe two tight situations. You got to imagine they're going to run with that a couple times. You got trade as you being able to move things around. Like, how are they going to move those things around? I'm interested to see how they're going to do that, because I feel like going into the year, there's a lot of really good, talented dudes there. But then you also have a good amount of them that do a lot of the same thing, and those guys too that do a lot of the same thing, right? The Aaron Anderson, the Barry and Brown, the Xavier Thomas, they're all like they're all expecting to play a lot. They're not going to sit here and those guys not get touches, those guys not play a lot. So how are you moving that around, which doesn't, to me, really sound like a quote-unquote, hey, you're going to get the lion's share of the snap type of guy. But if somebody like Anderson is not healthy, okay, that's a different conversation. So I'm interested to see how they do it, because just looking at it from the outside in, if there's synergy there, if there's chemistry there, if he can learn the playbook, it, to me, sounds more like Nick Anderson, Chris Hilton. And then the funny thing about it is that neither one of them played that much ball for LSU last year. Obviously, one of them didn't at all.
Right.
And so that's what I'm thinking about when I think about that room. And I want to see how they actually put this thing together and go about it.
Correct. I think that if Nick Anderson's healthy, it's Nick Anderson. It's Nick Anderson, it's Aaron Anderson in the slot, and it is Chris Hilton on the outside. If Nick Anderson is not 100%, not full go, I think the starting 3 receiver opening day, first play of the first possession is going to be, I think Barry Brown's going to slide in there, and that's just what they're going to do because Nick Anderson is not healthy. Now, if it was how it should be and he's healthy and he's ready to go, that to me is your best combination of size, speed, ability to get open, have the ability to do all these guys and put them in the position they feel like they fit in. You're going to see a bunch of different dudes in there without a doubt, but there's been conversations, and we saw it last year. There's going to be a lot of 12 personnel, so you're going to have a lot of sets with 2 tight ends in there. They're probably going to split Trey'Dez Green out a lot, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deploy that, but I believe the 3 starting receivers are going to be opening day. I think it's going to be Barry Brown, Chris Hilton, and Aaron Anderson, only because I don't think Nick Anderson is 100% ready yet. Now, that could change in the next 10 days. I'm talking about today. If it started tomorrow or started Saturday, that's what I think it would be.
And it's almost doing them a disservice to try to put –
Correct. This is just for the show.
No, but I'm just saying because, like, when you watch them at practice, they run 4 on and 4 off.
Right.
Like, there's not really a set.
Yeah.
Like,
shift
these
change.
are the guys.
Line change. Hold on.
I think they –
And that's why I said, like,
yeah.
When you put the snaps together, like, how are they going to break it down and how are they going to get them in and out? Because I'm going to be honest with you, that's a lot of very talented mouths to feed and to keep happy. And we all know the receiver persona, which from the outside in looks like a diva. From the inside out is truly, hey, man, you're asking me to run these long routes. You're asking me to sprint and not get the ball. When I get open, I want that bitch.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thumbs
I
up.
want that bitch.
No doubt.
Like, straight up. So, like, I don't know, people don't understand, like, that's kind of what's happening. Like, I'm not a running back who's asked to fake, stick my head in the fan and block somebody. I'm not saying that that's not hard, but go ask anybody to run 40-yard sprints, come back and do it again 6 times and don't get the ball. See how happy you're going to be.
Correct.
Go ask someone to do that. No one else is happy about that. So, from the outside in, it's looked at as a diva. From the inside out, I understand that. So, when you have that many bodies, even though they're great, how are we going to keep them happy? Because they obviously all want to be on the field, and that's what I want to see.
No, 100% right. That's just you're going to see a bunch of people come in and out. You see a bunch of people get touches. We're just talking about, for the sake of this, just who's going to be there. Hey, when they announce the starting lineup.
Yeah, the first 3 out. But my question to both of you is, can you have too many toys in the toy chest? Because I feel like this is a huge year for Joe.
100%. Yes, you can. Because if you do, and you don't nurture the room correctly, and now you have bad apples and or bad toys, as you said, it starts to rot in the room. And so, and if there isn't a shit ton of accountability in that room, it starts to bring the ceiling of it down, right? Because now you're not holding the people accountable that's getting the opportunity. The ones that's not getting the opportunity are not very happy about what's going on, yet you're asking them to practice their ass off every day. You're asking them to give them everything to you, and it's hard. So when you have that many able and capable bodies that are real players, yeah, there's a chance you can have too many in the same room. Yes, 100%.
No doubt, right? And that's, look, the reality of it is if you're recruiting right and you're bringing in, you have a good organization, a good team, you're going to have too many guys in there. It's a matter of how can you manage.
Yeah, but the thing about that is usually when you have too many good ones in there, you know which ones are the young ones and which ones are not.
Right.
LSU's not in that spot.
For sure. No doubt.
You got a lot of guys who's asking and who's looking to get the ball this year, and they understand that this is a year that matters for them. So
Right.
that's the difference. And 100%, like when you recruit, right, you're going to have a deep room. But usually when you have that deep room, you have seniority in there. This room has a lot of veterans that's expecting to play a lot of meaningful football.
Correct.
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
No, correct. And the reality of it is they're all going to get in, but they're not going to all be happy. That's just the reality. You can't have 7 guys go out there and be extremely happy with how they.
He's thrown it 700 times with 100 catches each.
Right, like that's just the reality of it. Now it's a matter of managing the expectations or managing the I don't want to call it egos, but managing the emotions of the room, as you just said, Jared. Like that's going to be a big battle, and at the end of the day, the person who's performing, and if you get in and get an opportunity, and you perform, I'd imagine you're going to continue to get more opportunities, and we'll see it. We'll see what happens. The fact that we have this conversation, the fact that we may have too many good guys, I'd rather have that than say, who the hell are we going to throw the football to?
Because Aaron Anderson became an absolute, a need because of the way the wide receiver room went down when you had C.J. Daniels that continued to go down with injury. You had Connor Lacey as your ex, but then you started to have to kind of rotate players around. But the reason I bring it up is because he had 61 catches last year. He ain't getting 61 balls this year.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say he's not going to get it, but yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
I would say that would be a bad thing.
Well, I mean, I
wouldn't say it'll be a bad thing. I expect him to be on the field a lot, and I expect him to throw it a lot. And you got to remember, too, the lion's share of what he did was in the back half of the year. Right. Let's just say he was able to be out there and get a large part of what they were doing from game 1 to game 12. That could be 60 catches again, right? So, I wouldn't say it, but to your point, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you have a room that's that deep, think about it. You have Aaron, you have Chris Hilton, you have Trades, because for all intents and purposes, that's going to be what the large portion of his work is going to be as a receiving player, right? And so those guys are looking to up their profile. Those guys are looking to take a step forward. And honestly, so is LSU looking for them to do the same. You have Xavier Thomas as well, but then you're also able to bring in a highly productive Barry Brown. You're able to bring in someone who if he's healthy, you expect to be highly productive in Nick Anderson, and you bring another tight end in Bauer Sharpin. And so now you're sitting there and saying, it's hard for me to believe that those guys came here only to chase to dollar.
Right.
They probably came here because they want to chase production as well. How are you going to split it up? Because they're not sitting here saying oh, yeah, coach, I'll sign. I'm cool to sign if I only get 30 balls this year. No big deal. No big deal.
For sure.
And so that's where I'm sitting here saying we could sit here and in essence and I guess try to sit here and say in a vacuum out looking on it saying, yeah, man, that'd be cool. You got to understand you're not going to get the ball that much. But are they? Is that really the conversation that's going on? And was that the conversation that happened to get them here? Because if it wasn't and it's not happening, you can't expect them to be happy, if you will. And that's why I'm so wondering, how are they going to split this thing up?
The worst thing that could happen is somebody, if you try to coach that and say, okay, we're going to force feed somebody just to get them to it, that's the worst thing that could happen on the offense. Hey, you've got to get them the ball. You got to force feed them. That's just not that's not good. It has to happen within the flow of the offense. And I hope everybody's happy, but it's not going to happen that way. Not everybody's going to be happy. That's just the reality of it.
Well, I'll tell you this. In my opinion, the force feed part isn't the worst thing. If said player is not doing his job to earn whatever those opportunities are, right? So, perfect example. When you watch Dwayne Bowe and watched his big-ass run routes all through the week and watched him do all the work all through the week, you knew that when it was first and 10 on the 12-yard line and we ran the Z post,
right?
Dwayne Bowe's getting that opportunity.
Well, that's different. That's different. Yeah.
But it's not. So my point is the force feeding part of it is how is it being force fed? Because if somebody's not earning that spot or earning that opportunity, people get mad. But on the other end of it, if you know that whoever's getting these opportunities is earning them shits, and when they're getting them, they're performing in them, nobody's that mad.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying force feeding it to them just because you want to get them balls. Not because they haven't earned it. Hey, we don't want to make you happy, so we're going to throw the rock to you so that you can. We're showing you that we're trying. If you've earned the right to get the rock thrown to you, you've earned the right. I have no problem with that. I'm talking about the worst thing that can happen is them saying, "Oh, we got a lot of guys. We got to get them in here. They came here. We got to throw him the rock, even though we probably shouldn't be throwing him the rock as much as we're throwing it to him. That's all I'm saying. I agree. I'm agreeing with you. That was what I was talking about, is force feeding it to him. Because if you've earned it, you're going to force feed it to the guy that's earned it, that you have the most trust in, and you believe he's going to go up and get it. Dwayne Bowe got a lot of balls that probably should have been thrown to him because they knew he was going to go up and get it, and he earned it. That's all I'm saying.
That's a lot of dudes.
A lot of dudes.
It's a lot.
A lot of dudes.
I mean, we didn't even mention Destin Hill.
No.
Or
And look, they had a pretty decent freshman recruiting class in wide receivers. They had 2 or 3 guys they brought in that are supposed to be good.
And you still have Jelani Watkins.
Yep.
You still have, and you talked about the freshman. You have Manchild that they brought in that has absolutely competed his ass off at camp. And then you have Destin Hill that we haven't talked about. Like, they have dudes in that room. And my question is, like, has this become more of a Joe Sloan question than a wide receiver room question? Because you also have an LSU team that whenever they throw it more than 45 times in a game, they lost 3 of them. And they lost. They're not going
to throw the ball.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you're trying to get a run game established, you have all these mouths to feed at wide receiver. There's a way to do it, and this is what they've been working on in practice. A lot of tunnel screens, a lot of
100%.
get the ball out quick. And I think you have the guys to do it because, to me, Xavier Thomas has been the most impressive player at camp from what you saw last year to this year. He put on weight, and he has been in nearly – you saw him line up in the backfield, he had 7 carries last year for 70 yards. Like, you would like to see him do that more. But you still have Caleb Jackson, Caden Durham, Harlan Berry.
These things tend to work themselves out one way or the other. Whether there's a couple people that go down injury-wise, whether they have to miss a couple games because they didn't do something right off the field, it just seems like it tends to work itself out, right? Last year you had a couple injuries in the receiver room, and then you're worried about, like, okay, now who do we throw to, right? You have a couple guys, you have 2 or 3 guys that you're comfortable with, but, like, you didn't have the depth. So you just, look, things happen in the year. It's going to be interesting to see how they navigate through that. But having all that talent and having the ability to go and put the next guy up is not the worst thing. I've seen worse. About 4 years ago, we've seen that.
Oh, you don't want to run mirror routes with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham?
Yeah. Well, that was a long time, a lot more. We're not even get to that because that was so impressive the year that they had because it was all they had to do it themselves. They were not getting schemed open. They were just luckily we had that 1 year quarterback that could throw in the football, and they were just better than everybody.
Deep out from the opposite hash.
They're just better than everybody. So that's gonna be obviously a position to watch. Talent's not the issue. It's how are they going to deploy the talent is the bigger question. All right, let's go to the secondary. That's pretty much set, you would imagine. The safeties are set.
Yes.
Right?
With the move of Jordan Gilbert to star, it feels like you have Tamarcus Cooley, A.J. Halsey as your 2 safeties.
As your 2 safeties. And outside, obviously, Mansour Lane, starter.
Yeah, yes.
Ashton Stamps, you would imagine, is probably going to get the first crack at it. I know there's been a lot of conversation about what P.J. Woodland's been doing recently and how good how much better he's gotten. And then obviously DJ Pickett,
That's
freshman.
the elephant in the room.
Right.
Or giraffe in the room.
Right.
Pterodactyl in the room.
But for the sake of this conversation, opening day, I believe it's those 2 guys on the outside, Mansour Lane, Ashton Stamps, and then the 2 safeties, the 2 transfer safeties.
You're going to play a lot of P.J. Woodland. Obviously, you're going to get some of
Pickett.
You're going to get some DJ Pickett as well. And how that thing moves around, we'll see. We will see.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's the most confident or the most depth you've had in that room
in a long time
since Brian Kelly's been.
Not even to me, not even just depth either. I kind of feel like you're getting an above average play at that spot too. It's not like 100%. You're just getting it's not like you're just getting, hey, we're okay. I think we're okay. Like you actually may get some very stellar play out of that cornerback room. Honestly, that secondary room.
Again, we talked about this on Monday. Part of what we liked about what Brian Kelly said about the offensive line is he didn't have to go out and explain, this is why they're good, blah, blah, blah. You haven't had a lot of conversation about the secondary, right? Which means that they've been playing really well, right? There hasn't been a lot of conversation about, who's going to be here. They haven't been playing really well. They've had some, they've been losing some battles to the wide receivers. There hasn't been a ton of that narrative, which tells me that they've been doing what they need to do, and it's been a above average play, like you just said.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. It feels like the roster's set, the starters, for the most part. It really does. It feels like they know what their two deep is. It feels like everybody kind of understands what their role is right now, and that's a good thing going into the last 10 days of camp. Really, camp's over, going into the preparation of Clemson and getting ready for game 1. Now, I said I was asked Mikie and Mitch. I don't know if we have any questions. Probably don't have any questions in there. But if you do have questions, throw them in there.
Well, real quick, while you're talking about the defensive back room, you had 12 turnovers as a whole. You had 12 interceptions as a whole for your defensive back room last year. Not a lot.
No, less than that.
You had 12 interceptions. I just looked up.
Oh, I thought you looked it up Monday. It was like 6.
I think, no, it's 12. That's
Okay,
what I'm
12.
looking at now for this ESPN, so it could be anything. But you added literally 12 turnovers from just the transfers you brought in. 4 from Mansour Delane, 5 from A.J. Halsey, and 3 from Tamarcus Cooley, and that's just interceptions. So you had 12 interceptions. Last year, you just added 12 in the portal.
Well, A.J. Halsey, here's the other thing, is how many times do we see a ball get thrown down the field? And 1, the safety wasn't in position to even make a play, or 2, the few times they were in position to make a play, how many times do we see a receiver go up and get it above them, right? A.J. Halsey seems like he's the guy that's out there. He's going to play center field, and he's going to be able to go out there and track the ball and bring it down. 5 interceptions tells me that. That's a lot of interceptions in a season.
Yeah. In the
so,
right spot a lot of times. And I think that matters too.
Correct.
Yeah, saw a lot of there's a reason people know Sage Ryan's name. Saw his jersey a ton.
Where is Sage Ryan?
Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, yeah.
I guess the other position group that –
and he was actually one of your better defenders last year.
Right. I guess the other position group that's been getting a lot of praise, and probably more so about not just the talent but the depth of it, is the defensive line. Who's going to be the first? Who's going to be the top 4 guys? I mean, it's going to be a lot of guys. They're probably going to play 8 guys there.
They're going to rotate like like you said, like hockey shift.
Like
change.
Georgia does.
That's where they got. That's where they are.
But who do you think is going to be the first 4 out there?
For me, Gabe Relaford is the name that I think people need to start etching into their brains. Like a lot of made was Patrick Payton, and look, physique-wise, obsessed. Get it? Like looks like an absolute freak show. But Gabe Relaford, what he's done. And his year 1 to year 2 in the flash that you saw, I think he's going to have an absolute breakout year. And that's somebody that Kevin Peoples, somebody said in the chat for the Tingle & Co. in the morning, was like, Kevin Peoples is going to have an All-American.
Right.
You saw it last year. Like, he had a limited amount of time to work with, and he got people drafted. And now you've had year 2 with Gabe Relaford. I think he's going to be one of the guys on the edges that you continue to see that – you may have brought in a Jack Pyburn, you brought in a Patrick Payton, and you see it, but I think Gabe Relaford being a mainstay on that defensive line is an absolute fact. And then you see,
You're definitely going to get
Gooden, McKinley, and then whoever they want to put on that opposite side is fine with me. You have a litany of people, like I said, you have.
So how's Jacoby and Guillory looked?
I mean, he's a, 5th year?
Yeah, I mean, got come off injury, right?
He's coming off an Achilles, but he's a full go. But I think Bernard Gooden is still on all of the headlines in terms of like defensive tackle.
Yeah,
because he's just been such a force, and his energy is something that it's almost like you can't ignore it. And he's a slighter body, but somebody that has absolutely been blown things up.
I have a feeling it's going to be Relaford on one side and Pyburn to start on the other side. I mean, you either got them or you got Patrick Payton.
I think it's going to be
or Jamari Butler. I don't know how he's been. You know what I mean? That was another transfer you brought in. But, you know, it's gonna. You have a lot of guys you can throw out there. You're the one that's been out there looking at it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm deferring to you.
But I think they're all in such and to have Kyle Williams come in his first year, like that would be I think a lot of people would have like a little bit of a question mark if like this is your defensive line coach, but to be able to have Kevin Peoples and have the amount of talent that came back and the amount of talent in that room, like Don McKinley is going to, like I said, I mean, you have Ahmad Bro that played as a freshman and gained 25 pounds to be able to play defensive tackle. Like, he's going to play. And so I think you really should look at it as there's probably 7 guys that you're going to see a lot of. So when it becomes, like, what was the old third and Chavis, but like whenever it was right, like the Mustang package when you put out like just strictly pass rushers.
Yeah.
I think LSU's in that spot again where they can put out like freak shows of 4 defensive linemen of holy shit, they're going to go get the passer. And then you have the ability to put people in there like we can stop the run with these 4. Like Pyburn's a guy that wants to be in the mix, wants to hit somebody.
Well, look, here's the other thing. Like Ahmad Bro kind of played really well last year.
And
he's
wasn't supposed to be there.
Right? He's there, right? Like you got a guy that played well last year, that has some experience, and now he's coming back in for year 2. You know what I mean? Like you've got guys, which is a good thing. More than what you've been able to say over the last few years.
Yeah, and that'll be like when you talk about the 2 rooms that we've talked about, like the wide receiver room, and trying in order to keep them happy. I think you have that same problem with the defensive line, but not a problem at all. It's like everybody can eat because you're going to be fresh and be able to go after the quarterback, be able to go stop the run. Like everybody's going to know their role on that side of the football because it's not wide receiver. It's not like you have to. Like, I'm not happy if I don't get the football. Like, I'm not running 40 yards down the field. Like, you're trying your ass off, but it is certainly a scheme-specific, like, you know your role on that defensive line. And that's where I think LSU's defense is going to be markedly improved from 110th in the country to, 55th in the country to now I expect a top 20 unit.
Top 20 is probably a good expectation.
Yeah, we talked about that, too. And I think that defensive line is going to be deep. And I actually love a deep defensive line. I'm not really one that subscribes to having 1 or 2 because I understand what relentless effort out of that position can get you. Mm-hmm. I would love to have one guy that's just an absolute mess, an absolute dog, and has a motor that doesn't stop. I don't know if we have that. And I'm saying that from literal, like, I have not seen those guys enough to understand. But what I do know is like, hey, okay, if this is how we're going to deploy him and this is what we got, if we got a deep group that's willing to be deep, that's willing to be fresh every time they get out there, a couple of those guys are going to end up emerging. A couple of those guys are going to end up the ones you always see on 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 3. And then the rest of them are going to continue to cycle through. And I think you're going to end up with a very productive group. And if that group's productive, those linebackers are going to be productive. And I think that's a really good spot to be in.
Correct. This means it's getting close.
It'd be 10 days.
I mean, this is next week's going to be great because there's going to be a lot of Clemson LSU talk, right? There's going to be a lot of on Monday we can talk about, what happened over the weekend. First football games happened. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Speaking, you had something to say?
Oh, I'll just say, Jared, you'll love this. Old school Les Miles, they get all of their stats from Dabo Swinney. There's no media at their practices, so when the scrimmages come out, it's Dabo Swinney. He went, Klubnik was 5 of 10 with 4 touchdowns. And so everybody was like, Cade Klubnik's been unlocked. It's like it probably was a red zone period.
5 of 10, 4 touchdowns. What about the other 5?
That's how the information's getting out from their practices?
It's only Dabo. He's the only one. That's like less when Richard Murphy. Yeah, when Richard Murphy ran for 280 yards.
51, coach, you can't get in there.
Yeah, just trust Dabo. And they do. It's unbelievable how much they run with whatever he says. Because it reminds me of Les whenever Richard Murphy during the spring game is like, he had 210 yards on 15 carries. It's like, how was that even possible?
Right.
Pretty sure the defense.
Damn, defense stinks, huh?
Stinks.
Jesus. Yeah.
We do have some Ask Mikey and Mitch.
Okay, there we go. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. We were talking a little special teams. Our guy Jay Jizz in the chat over under 2.5 returns this year for touchdowns. Punt return, kick return.
Over, under?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say under. That's a lot.
Right at 2.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm going to say right at 2.
If it's over, it's going to be
banger.
Yeah.
He almost
we had 2 last year.
He almost ran the first one back of the year. Unless you forget. If he doesn't get snipered, that's a tud.
Yeah.
But I would say 2, because 3, it feels like it's a Bulls on parade.
Yeah. Maybe you get, I'm going 2, because 3 plus is, hey, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Kenny Bilala. Ask Mikey and Mitch. What is easier to transition to? Football to baseball or baseball to football?
Uh,
we have a guy that can answer that pretty
Might have been just ask Mitch.
Pretty accurately there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They're very, both of them are very tough and for very different reasons. if I remember back in my day of doing this, it was, you're going from baseball to football, conditioning part's the worst.
Yeah.
You may think you're in great condition after a full baseball season. I promise you are nowhere near football season.
Unless you're Chad Jones.
Part of it. Was that?
Unless you're
No,
Chad.
not even, no,
I know.
no,
I'm just
no.
joking. I'm just telling the story about he was 240 and actually fucking passed the conditioning test.
Yeah, so like that part of it is tough as hell in itself, right? And then you flip it on the other side is when they tell you, hey, after everyone's been hitting for the entire fall, and they also had the summer to go play. Well, they go to the summer, they play summer ball, they have the entire fall, and then you got a 2.5 to 3 week period to get ready for the season because you don't pick up a bat usually until around that time. That's kind of tough in itself too. So it's it takes for different reasons. I think. They're hard. Like I can remember my arm in college honestly never really felt good until like the last like month and maybe 5 to 6 weeks of the season. Probably closer to 5, maybe 4.5 weeks of the season. Because finally I'm picking up a ball and throwing it. I'm past that beginner stage, then the dead arm stage, then kind of feeling okay, and then like, oh, here it is. Oh shit, we got 10 games left. My bad. All right, let's roll. So, like, that's kind of what it was. So, for very different reasons, they're both really tough.
Yeah, I can't answer that, Tiz.
Oh.
What?
Kyle Casano in the chat. Mikey acting like he went a dog on the football field.
Hey, I don't know. Was he able to see that? I don't know. I'm not gonna brag on myself, but somebody else wants to brag for me.
The VHS tape is out there somewhere.
We got DVDs. It wasn't that long ago. Got DVDs. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it in college. So I cannot answer the question as accurately as Jared did because, I mean, he said it pretty much. It's hard both ways, but for completely different reasons.
Yep.
Ask Mikey and Mitch. Kyle Casano. Do we think LSU has a true number one wide receiver as much talent as they have? Nick Harrison fits the bill.
Nick Anderson.
That's what I said.
Oh, they said Harrison.
No. Nick Anderson.
Sounded like you said Harrison, too.
I might have, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Play the tapes. I'll delete it. Nick Anderson fits the bill, but he's ready to play that role. I defer to you folks.
So, as far as, like, the old-school, prototypical number one wide receiver, like, it's hard to say you have that guy, right? Just because Chris Hilton could be that guy. He just hasn't really shown it. You want to say that he could be that guy. You don't know.
Healthy.
Nick Anderson, size, the numbers he put up 2 years ago shows you he could be the number one. He hasn't been healthy. Aaron Anderson last year put up some really good numbers, but he's not what you would say as a number one wide receiver based off of what you would expect, right? Like Tyreek Hill is an anomaly, right? Tyreek Hill is the short, super fast number one guy. You don't really usually see that. So to say that we have a number one right now, I would say I think you got a bunch of guys that could be very, very successful. To say you have a number one, I wouldn't say you have it yet. I think you could have it in Nick Anderson or Chris Hilton, though.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect answer. Both of those guys kind of fit the bill. Especially, if I'm being honest with you, a little bit more Chris Hilton because of his true ability to, like, blow by everyone or take a slant to the house and do all of those things. Like, he's got that kind of speed. He's got that kind of ability. We've obviously never seen him healthy for an extended period of time. But if you can add those things and the ability to kind of move around on the formation, the ability to win one-on-ones, and I think those things are usually the things that put you into that. If you want to really talk about it, just off of measurables, ability, all of those things, I look at Chris Hilton first, but I would say Nick Anderson second.
Yeah.
When I've seen Nick Anderson both ways. I've seen him healthy at practice and ball player.
Right. No, look, he put up, 12 touchdowns 2 years ago? Like, he's got the ability to do it. It's just he has to stay healthy.
Yep.
Absolutely. That definitely, like, when you say fit the bill, like him and Chris. And when I saw Chris Hilton last year before he got injured, he wasn't just running non-routes. He was running the entire tree, and you could be like, oh, my God, they're going to utilize him a ton.
Right.
And I'm excited to see what that looks like if he's able to stay healthy, because I think you might be seeing him shoot up draft boards.
Correct.
If that's the case. Like, that's what people are waiting on because he can do it.
Correct.
Yep.
Mikey Mitch, Randy Jones. Uncle.
Hey-yo.
Curious to see how fast DJ Pickett and Harlan Berry progress this year. What are your expectations to see them, and when do you think they hit the field?
So, Jared, you want to start this one?
Yeah, so Harlem Bear is a funny one for me because I truly believe, like, outside of injury, I don't ever really remember a time where we've seen, like, three backs truly get rotated at LSU, right? And if you're sitting there with two already, and Harlem does a whole lot of what Caden Durham does, so they're a lot of the same players. So unless he moves into that second spot, I don't really know if we'll see a ton of him outside of injury or literally something like that happening. So Harlem Berry is one where I'm like, I'm not sure how much we're gonna see from him this year. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. Like, you would hope you would go to a school that's, or at least as a fan, you would hope your school has a ton of depth at a spot, and you would hope they would be able to retain those guys once they actually acquire the depth. So that's not a disrespectful thing. That room for a long time as LSU has been, man, I'm not exactly sure who's back there. If you just didn't really know it outside of like who's starting, but you already knew, there's a good chance the dudes behind them, some dogs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of always been the LSU running back room. So, like, I don't mean that at all.
It's Frank Wilson.
What's that?
That's what Frank Wilson does. He stacks it.
Yeah. So I think he would be the one I'm not expecting to see an absolute ton from. And who was the other one?
DJ Pickett.
DJ Pickett, I expect to play a heavy role. And I don't know if that means he's a starter. I don't really know if that's what I mean. I expect him to play a heavy role by the time the season gets to the middle of the season, especially if he's not afraid to stick his nose in there and make tackles.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I expect to see him to play a huge role.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're going to see DJ Pickett play earlier and have a bigger role later on in the year.
Impact.
I think that he's going to end up starting at the back half of the season. That's what I think. But I think you're going to see him play earlier than Harlem Berry for a couple reasons. One, I think physically and just being ready right now and what we've heard about him so far in camp, I think that's it. But also, I don't want to say playing running back is harder because that's not the right word. But coming in as a freshman,
it's a harder transition.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, the position itself's not harder, but going in as a freshman running back, you have a lot more responsibility in college than you did coming out of high school. And high school was just give me the rock, and you're going to go and just beat everybody.
Yeah.
In college, you got to understand where the blitz is coming from. You got to understand protection. You got to understand a bunch of different things, and you got to put your nose in there, and you got to be able to protect your quarterback because a lot of times you're the guy. You're the extra guy picking up the extra guy coming in. So you've got to understand that, and that's where the big transition comes in. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying he hasn't been able to do it. It's a lot harder to do. That position is a lot harder to kind of transition into than maybe in the secondary. Because, look, in the secondary, if you're super talented, you can, I don't want to say hide, but you can kind of put him in a position to succeed. Put him in passing situations, put him in the slot, do something in the nickel's position to where he can excel in the situation that he needs to excel.
Complicated. Like,
right.
If it's man coverage, guard him.
Right. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the big thing, too. Like, I don't give a damn how high of level of high school football you play in what state, 6A, 7A, Florida, Texas, California. It doesn't really matter. You don't get so much of that blitzing linebacker who's 230 pounds, full bore, unblocked, and he's got a full head of steam, and you're going to sit there and you need to stonewall him. Like, that does not happen a ton in high school. And so that's a brand new situation to step into. And now that's after understanding where the protection is, which way it's sliding, who am I picking up, who is the biggest threat if there's more than one coming that way. That's the second part of it, if you will. So, like, those two things alone for a running back is something that's pretty damn new in their life.
Yeah.
Like life, right? You don't do that. It's very little of that. You ain't doing that in middle school. You ain't doing that in Pee Wee ball. You maybe barely ever doing it in high school ball. And now for the first time, it's more than just, we're going to turn around, hand this bitch to you and score.
Yeah.
Like, there's a little bit more going on now.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's where it changes at for him. And that's kind of the maturation and the progression you need to see, or you start seeing once you get to college and find out who can actually do these things and who cannot.
Correct.
The only thing I'll say, to your point, when we were at practice, they ran a screen to Harlem Berry, and he did not know it was going to him. So he just kind of went by the wayside. They threw the ball to him, and Sloan stopped practice like, Harlem, the play is called for you. Like, look for the football. Right. And that's what happens. You saw it with John Emery with Joe Burrow, like, kicked him out the huddle. He's like, cuz, the ball is for you today.
Right.
Like, if you can't do this right, you can't play. And so, like, Harlem Berry has going.
Right. Well, you don't have to because you got that.
Well, but that was the question. Because the question wasn't if he's going to play. It was who's going to have the bigger jump or progress further. I think it's hard for a running back in that situation.
Right.
That's
for
what
sure.
I'm saying.
Right.
It's not about if he's going to play or if he's not.
Correct.
If he's going to have touches. If he's not, it's who's going to jump further.
Correct.
I don't think it's going to be him.
Correct.
Ask Mikie and Mitch. Savion Green. Ask Eminem. Who do you think the biggest impact player will be this year?
Outside of Nuss, obviously.
Yes.
That's a cop-out answer, the Nuss. Who do I think the biggest impact player is going to be?
Floor is yours, sir.
I got one for you, dude. I'll go Chris Hilton. That's where I'm at. I think he's in a good headspace. I think where he's been and the troubles he's been through, and if you want to call it troubles, the injury troubles he's been through, and not being able to stay on the field, and obviously wanting to be on the field. And when I say the headspace part of it, it's about who he's dating and where she's been and the things she's seen and how they're able to stabilize each other. I think he's in a good spot that if Chris Hilton is healthy, we will finally see exactly what everyone talked about as a recruit when he came out.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I was thinking about him. I wanted to look at someone on the defensive side, but I'm going to stay on the offense. And I'm going to go Caden Durham. Mm-hmm. I think our running game is going to be really. I think it's going to be a strong point of our team, a strength of our team. I think he's going to have a really good year. We're going to have a running back for the first time in a long time that you can rely on. I believe. If he hopefully, God willing, he stays healthy.
He looks unbelievable.
Yeah. And it was look last year when he came in there, he was great.
He was the third team running back in fall.
If it wasn't for him, we lose to South Carolina.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
Now he's got a full year of being the one.
And he's healthy. And look, he gutted through some injury at the back end of that year, and he was still efficient. I think he's going to be.
Yeah, I think too. That's another thing with him because we forget that injury that he played through at the back end. That's a tough injury to play with.
Yeah.
Like that really holds you from being like explosive.
Correct.
He found ways to continue to stay on the field and be useful.
Yep.
But he wasn't his explosive self towards the back end of the year after that injury. And it seems like not a big injury, like something that's small. And that's one of those ones that like they linger, they're nagging. They don't ever really make you feel like you're good to go.
Right.
If that's healthy, I think he's gonna be in a good spot.
Yeah. And like that's an injury, or you can feel really good when it starts, and then you get it's inevitable. It's going to get rolled up on again. It's going to get hurt again, and then you're going to be banged up, and you have to gut through it. So yeah, I mean, if he stays healthy, obviously, I think he's going to be a huge impact for us.
If Jack Marucci has to get involved, you're probably in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Let's make a mold of your foot and put it in your cleat. Cool.
Mm.
But then you saw Josh Williams kind of take towards the back end of the year, take some of those carries away because he just wasn't healthy.
Right.
And that's another thing we talk about, like blitz protection. That will be sorely missed.
Right.
At least at the
forefront. And you want to hope that Caden Durham takes that next jump.
And there's still Caleb Jackson.
And is there right. Any others?
And we think it's going to be missed. We don't know. Like, maybe somebody's going to step in there
and
actually be able to.
Alakal Lane.
But we knew how good we felt about Josh when he was in there. Nobody felt like he was a liability in that spot.
Right.
No, that was a luxury.
Right.
He was just an oversight because people just didn't realize what they were seeing.
Right.
Still went undrafted. Unbelievable.
I know.
He run a 4.45, jump 42 inches, bench press 23 times.
I mean, he couldn't have done any better than he did.
And a broad jump 10.8 and the undrafted.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck me, right? JJ's, ask Eminem. Are LSU football pads really that much better than NFL pads? I see a lot of LSU guys wearing their purple and gold pads in the NFL. What's the reason for that? Saw Clyde wearing LSU pads. Obviously, Leonard. You've seen it throughout NFL history where the Devin White, where they come back in the NFL.
It's like a rite of passage thing, too. And I think it kind of caught on. And boys get comfortable with the pads they were in. They're allowed to take them at those spots. So they're like, hey, no, these kept me right. So I'm going to keep wearing them. Game ain't changed, Again,
I can't speak to that.
Did you take your high school helmet?
No, did not.
My brother tried to. They threatened him like, you can't graduate if you don't bring your helmet back. And he was like, I'm just going to keep it.
Prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, prove it.
I don't think there's anything to do with school. And that is it.
That is it. Appreciate the Ask Mikey
Mitch.
Mitch. Ask Mikey Mitch. You know who that's brought to you by?
Who's that brought to you by?
That's brought to you by our friends at Alumni Hall.
Oh.
Listen, 10 days away, Lloyd. Probably less than that whenever people are probably going to start getting on the road in about 8 days to go over to Clemson. Maybe next Thursday they start that trek. I think that's when y'all are going to be on the road is next Thursday, which, by the way, we're not going to be able to have a show because you'll be gone.
That's right.
That stinks. I just thought about that as I'm telling you this thing. We'll talk about that after this ad. About 7 days, 8 days away before you really need to go get stocked up on all your LSU gear. If you're stocking up now, you're a little too late. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Row. Their shop is right there on the corner across from the movie theater, right next to Barnes & Nobles. They have everything that you possibly could want as an LSU fan. Look, even if you wanted a hammock, they got those. Collar shirts, hoodies, long sleeve hoodies, a knife.
Protect yourself.
Yeah, don't bring that to the game. That wouldn't be good. They got all the best brands from Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar, and so much more. Jerseys, T-shirts, 2 for $38 tees, Champion tees. If you're trying to get presents for your nieces, nephews, kids, or your kids, they have kid sizes. Or your kids, they have kid sizes. If you're trying to get stuff for you, they have women's, men's. They have big and tall. If you're a little bit on the heftier side or the taller side,
the lengthier side,
they got everything that you want. For every $150 you spend, Lloyd, you get $10 on your next purchase. $10 in Alumni Hall credit for your. It's called Hall Cash for your next purchase at Alumni Hall. You walk in there, I'd imagine you're going to be back in there because of all the things. They have all the latest drops, everything you're seeing the coaching staff wear, the players wear. They have that there for you to purchase and represent LSU in the only way you know how. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Row. We are proud to be partners with them. So that's who that was presented by. All right. Before we get to the segments, I do want to dabble in the gambling talk. Okay?
Learn me something.
Are you going to jump on this with me? This is week 0, so we don't have to make this a mic'd up parlay. I'm just letting you know I am making a parlay for opening weekend. Okay? Biggest game of the weekend. Iowa State versus Kansas State. Iowa State, Rocco Becht is going to be their starting quarterback. He is from Wesley Chapel, Florida, junior, right? He will be the starter. Had a really good year last year. 3,500 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. They're very high on him. Obviously, Iowa State is starting the season in the top 25. They are ranked 22. Kansas State is ranked 17. They also have they're returning their starting quarterback who was very good last year, and Avery Johnson. He had not quite as many yards passing.
What is that?
Whoa. That was my computer. Ad.
Sharon.
From
Avery
McDonald's.
Johnson, 2,700 yards.
2,700 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, but he rushed for more than that.
He's a dual threat.
He is a dual threat. He rushed for 605 yards and 7 touchdowns. So this will be his third year getting reps as a quarterback.
Chased Will Howard out of town.
Chase Will Howard, he sure did. I believe, if I get back to the screen, Kansas State is favored by 3 points. I'm going to take Kansas State. They're playing at home. I mean, they're not at home. They're the home team in Dublin. I'm going to take Kansas State. I'm going to take Kansas State to cover. That's my first bet. The lines aren't great, okay? Lines are not great. Stanford is going to Hawaii. The line is -2.5 at Hawaii. I'm going to Kansas favored 13 at home against Fresno State. I'm going to take Kansas in that game. They just got a big influx of money. They're riding high with the athletic department and the football stadium and the football program. I'm going to go Kansas. I'm taking Kansas at -13 against Fresno State. How do y'all like that? Do y'all love that? Do y'all hate that?
-13, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the lines aren't great. It's not. I mean, there's not a lot to pick from.
It depends on Jalen Daniels, a former Heisman hopeful. going into last year, then definitely 1,000% regress as he threw for 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Yeah.
Completion percentage.
Bounce back game for him.
Bounce back year.
Bounce back year for him. I
But
think
he
he's
lost his offensive coordinator who went to Penn State last year, and you saw that regression. So I don't know who's to blame. But he's an athlete.
I'm gonna take him though. I mean, listen, we're getting slim pickings here. I'm forcing the issue here. We're making it happen. I'm riding with the state of Kansas. Kansas State and Kansas, both of them. You got Idaho State
Idaho
at UNLV. UNLV's favored by 26.5. Now, UNLV, if you remember, last year they had their starting quarterback sat out. He said he wasn't going to play because he wanted more money. And so they said, okay, we don't need you. They brought in his backup who was better than him.
Hajj Malik Williams.
And they ended up making it to a bowl game, had a really good season. 26.5 is a lot of points. But Idaho State's not very good.
Mikey, you're such a sucker.
I'm not betting it. I'm just asking.
This is just what they want you to do. Like, I'm going to take all of the teams that I know.
No. I'm not taking them. I'm going. There's only 5 games. We've talked about 3 of them. So
And you've only taken 1 so far.
taking 2, Kansas State and Kansas.
There you go.
Yeah.
Battle for the Apple Cup.
I'm tempted. I'm tempted to take Hawaii.
They got that new stadium coming, so things are on the rise. Things are on the up.
Yeah, brought to you by Oprah. She bought up all that land.
Do you like the
Yeah,
over under?
sure.
I mean, do you like the 26.5 line, or do you like the over under 65.5?
Now let's take the over.
You want to take the
Take
over?
the over.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
take
go
the over.
Let's go
Yeah.
70.
Let's take the over. All right, I'm taking Kansas State. I'm taking the over of UNLV game, and I'm taking Kansas. That's what I'm doing.
What's the put it together? What's the
Put it
odds?
together. Let's see what it is. I gotta find the app. There it is.
Oh, you dust it off.
I already did that. Remember
Yeah.
LSU? All LSU bets. Dusted it off.
Run out of credit.
All right, so let's get to, college football is still not on the main screen yet.
It's soon.
It's getting here soon. I know. All right, NCAA football. Iowa State, Kansas State. Let's see. Kansas State, done. Okay. UNLV, over. Kansas on here's minus 12.5. I'm going to take that.
Oh.
It is plus 596, right in our honey
Right
hole.
in the honey hole. 10 to 159.
Right in our honey hole. Oh, no. I made a Lloyd bet there. I meant to put a 0, and it was not.
Did you put 2?
I did it. Yep.
So we put 100 down.
No, I didn't put 100.
I thought you went to put 10. You put 100.
No, I meant to put 50. I put 5.
Oh, that's even better. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
But I'm gonna go back.
50 is crazy.
Yeah, you know what? Throw it in there.
$5 is
Aggressive.
perfectly fine for,
5.
for week 0.
It was the at Tom Haley. Calm down, buddy.
Calm down.
Calm
$50
down.
parlay.
Calm down. Let's
On
just
week
let's stick with
0.
that. Oh, you know I'm gonna
we've
win it.
seen
You know I'm gonna
nothing.
win it
Oh,
now,
of
right?
course not. Yeah. Of course.
No doubt. Actually, y'all probably should tail it now because I'm definitely gonna win it because I only bet $5.
And then I will not hear the end of it until we.
It wasn't your fault. It was my fault. Can't blame anyone else. All right. It was nice to get a little gambling conversation.
Oh, one last Mikey and Mitch. Andrew Messina. Mikey J. Mitch, congrats on the sex.
Thanks.
Will be
Appreciate
awesome
it.
to see your
I
sons.
appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you.
Hopefully,
Appreciate
it'll be awesome to see your sons patrolling the outfield at Ogbox in 18 years.
That would be great. How fun would that be?
Now you
Gonna
talking, my man. My
That's
man.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right.
You going to Westgate?
No.
You be
He's
in,
not.
You gonna be on
So he's
Tex-
gonna
you
go
be in
like
Texas.
Now he's in Houston. He'd be playing for like Allen or something.
Be
Permian
very hard for
Panther.
him to go to Westgate from here. Yeah, I don't know if I want to make him do that travel every day. You know?
Yeah. That'd be a lot. Helicopter him to school every day.
LHSAA would have a
Yeah.
fit.
That's going to get very, very pricey. I don't know if I want to do that.
All right.
Retired your jersey for nothing.
Did they?
I did something.
Lloyd,
Yeah, I played in 7th grade and 9th grade.
you got a mistake of the day?
I do have a mistake of the day. I wonder what. Oh, have y'all seen this?
I don't know.
Do not tempt. Obviously, if you've traveled abroad, things tend to happen where it's a notorious pickpocketing of Americans. They see
That's
you
always been a thing.
They see you as an easy target, yes. But do not pickpocket a mother of 8 children as a teen and expect to get away with it because she will grab you by the ponytail and hold you till the police come.
You stole my purse with my passport in it.
Wow. I got 8 kids. You ain't getting away from me. Now, did she get it back?
Oh, there was no follow-up video. But I would imagine so.
I'd imagine she got it
Or
back.
she has a ninth daughter.
Yeah, right.
You're coming with me.
Yeah, you ain't leaving. I need my passport. You leave it. Yeah, mistake of the day. Look, 14-year-old stealing a purse. That's wild.
Yeah, with her passport. Like, I do need that back.
Yeah, that's wild.
Or else I'm a permanent resident here.
Yeah, that's a wild.
Real ID.
Wild situation. Curtain call.
Curtain call. Oh, I had it pulled up. Hold on. I'm going to go back to do a little bit of exiting because of the stream, but we were back. I happened to just catch this. It was a 1-0 game. Jay Mitch, obviously, has been calling the Little League World Series, but I happened to catch a real heater of a game with, I forget his name, but he was a star on the mound.
Maxon Snoozy.
Snoozy! Don't be sleeping on Snoozy!
All-world name, too. Maxon Snoozy.
As he twirled an absolute gem.
Don't snoozy on Maxie. Is it Maxon? Maxie. What's his name?
Maxon.
Maxon. Don't snoozy on Maxon.
But a lot of these Little League kids got a little bit too much, too big for their britches. This kid, all-time gamer, appreciates the moment, enjoyed playing there, and knew he was in an absolute...
Bases loaded.
He went bases loaded. He had struck out 10 in a row, I believe. Then he walked to bases loaded. 3-1 count, battles back to get it to 3-2, and then
K's him up.
And strikes him out, and it was an all-time just like come off the mound. Dude was absolutely dealing.
You need to see a better swing than that, though.
Yeah, well, he was, he diced him up. Like,
he did?
Dude was guessing.
He got him?
But Snoozy was...
This is after he dealt his last start, too.
Yeah, he's a stud. But then you see some of, like, the emotion that comes from it. And this is the video that I saw, and this is what I watched. And I actually got kind of like, damn, this kid is in the moment, knows he's in it, and absolutely delivers. Because this is, like, high-stakes baseball for a Little League kid.
Yeah, no doubt. This is...
But this is a 3-2
big as it
pitch.
gets.
Bang, strikeout, bases loaded. Fuck you.
Who doesn't say that?
Frick you. But knew it. Kid was an
That's
absolute stud.
That's awesome.
And they interviewed his parents after this while they were in the stands. They were both on the verge of tears. Like, I can't believe our son's having to do this. But this is awesome.
That's crazy. That's fun.
Yeah, I love to tell you I have something different, but I was literally going to lean on the kid had 10 straight strikeouts.
He was dealing, dude.
And then does that after it, too. And he did it with all, like, swag. He knew, hey, if you didn't get a chance to see him pitch at the start before, I'm pretty sure he threw a complete game and he struck out the last hitter, like came off, pounding his chest like, this is my house. I'm like, bro, this kid knows where he's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knows what's going on, and he is all about the smoke.
Gamer.
So, yeah, it was kind of impressive watching that. I respect that.
Love that. Love that. Mine's a feel-good story, too.
Do you think Jay Johnson watches the Little League World Series?
I mean, maybe.
Just in
I
case.
think he's a baseball nut, so I think it's on, maybe not watching it very
He's not
intently,
recruiting on it?
It may be on. It may be on.
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely on. Is he watching it? Is it more glancing? Who knows? All right. My curtain call is to he kind of came on the scene, I believe it was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago.
Knocks.
Huh?
It was a Hard Knocks.
It was Hard Knocks a couple years ago. Chicago Bears backup quarterback at the time. He was trying to make the roster in Tyson Bagent. He played college football for Division II Shepherd Rams in West Virginia. He is he's a very good athlete. He was a really good quarterback. He kind of stole everybody's hearts in Hard Knocks, made the team, worked his way up the depth chart, got an opportunity to play last year, and he became the backup. Played really well. I think he was 500 as a starter as a backup quarterback, which is all you can really ask for a backup quarterback. He goes out there as having
Probably
another.
more than you can ask for.
Huh?
Probably more than you can ask for.
Right. More than you can ask for. He goes out there this year in the preseason, and he's having an outstanding preseason, so much so that the Chicago Bears signed him to an extension, 2-year, $10 million extension, $5 million a year, which I think he can get up to $15 million. He wasn't drafted, and his first deal was a $25,000 signing bonus. He made $1.5 million his last 2 years. Comes from not a lot. He in his interview talked about how he didn't have running water until he got to high school. But wrote an awesome story, and you can play the video if you like.
Yeah, I think that, a lot of people don't know this, but, my dad is he's my right-hand man, and he didn't even have running water until he was in high school. So
he is dad, not him. His dad, my bad.
There's definitely a lot of things and people that I think I could certainly help with this gift I've been blessed with. But yeah, just little things like that. I don't really know anybody back at home with any money, so yeah, it feels good. I mean, it's certainly a weight off my shoulders and my family's shoulders, and yeah, it definitely means a lot.
Man, that's you want to see good guys. You want to see good guys win in sports, and I mean, this guy has earned everything that he got. It was a long shot to make it to the NFL, a long shot to get to where he's at, and he's thriving. So shout out to Tyson Bagent because that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, that's all we got for you today on this beautiful Wednesday night. We'll be back live on Monday, next Monday, from 6 to 8-ish. It'll be game day week. A lot of conversation about the LSU Clemson game next week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy watching the first few college football games happening this Saturday. I know I will. And be safe. And we will
enjoy this year because next year you'll have a 32-team playoff and none of this will matter.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Monday. We appreciate y'all. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you can't watch us, but you like listening to us whenever you get your pods. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. See you next week. Peace.
Bang, bang.
Hey, not good enough.
Up.
Not good enough. It's over.
Nope.
No.
It's over.
All right, we'll try again next week.
Yeah.
Damn.